tell what he was saying. His voice was low, and his brow was high. Number 9. Number 9. Number 9. Number 9! Well, hey there guys, welcome to Rock Hard Riffs. This is the guitar channel for the self-taught and other cool stuff. Today we have other cool stuff. This is the 50th anniversary of the Beatles, in parentheses, White Album. The Beatles White Album. What a great album. To me, this is my Desert Island album. We have been through thick and thin, myself and I, in this album. Guys, if you're familiar with our channel, we do a lot of Beatles stuff and other rock bands and different things. We talk about documentaries, that sort of thing. Please take a look in our playlist under Beatles Fun. You'll find more stuff. And if you're interested in guitar stuff, there's plenty of other stuff in the playlist too. So if you enjoy this, we ask if you would, please subscribe and please share. Please spread the word. We really like to grow this channel. Alright guys, let's talk about the Beatles White Album, released in the winter of 1968. Kind of the year of discontent. And boy, there's a lot of information on this album. Now let's think about it. We started with John and Paul at a garden party on the back of a truck. Then they moved to John or Paul's porch. Then on to bands, into little clubs, little coffee houses and things in Liverpool, onto the beer houses in Germany, and then back to the dance halls, the Cavern Club, etc. in Liverpool, then all over England, all over Europe, to America, all over the world. That was the first act of the Beatles. And with that includes She Loves You and Yeah, Yeah, Yeah and all that fun stuff. Then the second act, we start to get a little more insightful and a little more psychedelic, a little more Dylan-esque. And then we move into the beginning of the third act, and that is the White Album. So we have the White Album, Abbey Road, and Let It Be to go, and then it's all over. The dream is over. I have some pretty neat stuff for you to look at here, guys. This is my original White Album. This is from when I would have been like an early teen. And I still have the original poster, and we're going to take a look at that in a second. So this is the original albums and everything. Now these, you know, I'm sure you're well aware of these photos that come with this album. Those were left behind in my bedroom at my parents' house. I put those up in every corner of my room, and I just left them there, and unfortunately I don't have those. But I have these other CDs here for us to look at as well. Now this is the original CD that I had picked up. Now that would have been, well, right when CDs started coming out. And with this came this little insert here, and it has photos and lyrics. Okay? So that's very cool. Stuff like that. Okay? And then later on, Mrs. Beans had given me this version. So I have 3 different White Albums. That's a lot of White Album. Now I know, of course, that they're coming out with the 50th anniversary of this. And would I go out and buy it? You know, I'm just not so sure I would. I already have enough White Album here, I think. But not just that. I know it's been remixed, and I just prefer the way the White Album was originally to me, I guess. Not that I won't listen to it, of course. Okay, also, this collection came with a mini poster of the White Album poster. This is a little mini version, and I'll bet this came with mini photos too, and I don't know what would have happened to them if it did. But at least I have this. And also this came with another little booklet which has lyrics and stuff like that again, but I think this one has more photos. Might have a little more information inside it. Now this came from 2009. That I do know. I do have a date on that. So let's take a look at something else real quick. Let's look at that poster. Okay guys, here is the full-size poster that came with my White Album. Now I would have bought that album in the 70s. So again, there's the full-size poster, and on the back of it, I'm going to turn it over. On the back here are all the lyrics. And that's really cool. Very cool. All the lyrics to the songs from the White Album. I have one more thing to show you, and then we're going to go over my personal feelings and thoughts about the White Album. Okay, guys, this is a hoodie. This is a White Album hoodie that Mrs. Beans gave me. This is the back, and as you can see, just barely, that these are the 4 photographs that come in the White Album, the little, the 4 photographs. And I'm going to show you the front of this as well. And as you can see here at the pocket, this is the left pocket, we have the embossed Beatles from the cover of the White Album. Kind of cool, huh? I've actually used this too. It's nice and warm. But boy, is it white. That is white. Alright guys, let's talk about the White Album. Well, yes guys, the Beatles White Album. This is my desert island album. This album means a whole lot to me. It was this album that I would come home to. This is what, I don't know, just extremely special to me. There are some certain incidents I was thinking of maybe mentioning about this, but I'm just not going to. Everybody has their own story. Let's hear your stories about how you relate, or how the White Album relates to you, or how it has over the years. Now, another thing I would say is that, like I always tell my son, Les Beans, is that study the White Album, because you just never know what's coming next, right? This is more than a box of chocolates. This is a lot different than a box of chocolates. So something kind of interesting, guys, here. This album has capital labels. That'll tell you when I got those. That's before Apple really started doing their thing again. So these are all capital. And this is just an amazing album. I mean, you go from Honey Pie to Long, 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 to Glass Onion to Revolution, from Wild Honey Pie to Revolution 9. Eclectic isn't the right word. It's just, they were just back from India. This is just a pivotal album, of course, in those transitions, in the 3 or 4 acts, if you will, of the Beatles. I don't know, it's just something special. The music on this is just fantastic. It's great. It's weird. I always listen to this every Christmas. This is the White Album. I think of White Christmas, the White Album, and I listen to this every Christmas. Go figure. I also listen to John Lennon's Shaved Fish, which is also one of Mrs. Bean's favorites. So, the Beatles' legacy will never die, I don't think, as long as there is a written or spoken word, that they'll never die. The music lives on. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining us for this very special remembrance of the Beatles' White Album on this 50th anniversary. We have lots of other Beatle videos. Please look in our playlists under Beatles Fun. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next video.